Thursday, April 18th. Your kingdom has been divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. Daniel 5, verse 28. Jehovah has clearly demonstrated his supremacy over the superior authorities. Romans 13, verse 1 says, "Let every person be in subjection to the superior authorities, for there is no authority except by God. The existing authorities stand placed in their relative positions by God." Consider 3 examples. Pharaoh of Egypt enslaved Jehovah's people and repeatedly refused to release them. But God set them free and drowned Pharaoh in the Red Sea. Exodus 14, verse 26 to 28 says, "Then Jehovah said to Moses, 'Stretch out your hand over the sea so that the waters may come back over the Egyptians, their war chariots, and their cavalrymen.' Moses at once stretched out his hand over the sea, and as morning approached, the sea returned to its normal condition. As the Egyptians fled from it, Jehovah shook the Egyptians off into the midst of the sea. The returning waters covered the war chariots and the cavalrymen and all of Pharaoh's army who had gone into the sea after them. Not so much as one among them was allowed to survive." Psalms 136, verse 15 says, "He shook off Pharaoh and his army into the Red Sea, for his loyal love endures forever." King Belshazzar of Babylon held a feast and exalted himself, thief, against the Lord of the heavens, and praised gods of silver and gold instead of Jehovah. Daniel 5, verse 22 and 23 says, "But you, his son Belshazzar, have not humbled your heart, although you knew all of this. Instead, you exalted yourself against the Lord of the heavens, and you had them bring you the vessels of his house. Then you and your nobles, your concubines and your secondary wives, drank wine from them and praised gods of silver and gold, of copper, iron, wood, and stone, gods that see nothing and hear nothing and know nothing. But you have not glorified the God in whose hand is your breath and all your ways." But God humbled that arrogant man. On that very night, Belshazzar was killed, and his kingdom was given into the hands of the Medes and the Persians. Daniel 5, verse 30 and 31 says, "That very night, Belshazzar, the Chaldean king, was killed, and Darius the Mede received the kingdom. He was about 62 years old." King Herod Agrippa I of Palestine had the apostle James killed and then imprisoned the apostle Peter, with the intention of doing away with him. But Jehovah prevented Herod from carrying out his plan. The angel of Jehovah struck him, and he died. Acts 12, verse 1 to 5 says, "About that time Herod the king began mistreating some of those of the congregation. He put James, the brother of John, to death by the sword. When he saw that it was pleasing to the Jews, he also went on to arrest Peter. This was during the days of the unleavened bread. He seized him and put him in prison, turning him over to 4 shifts of 4 soldiers each to guard him, intending to bring him out before the people after the Passover. So Peter was being kept in the prison, but the congregation was intensely praying to God for him." Verses 21 to 23 continue saying, "On a set day, Herod clothed himself with royal raiment and sat down on the judgment seat and began giving them a public address. Then the people who were assembled began shouting, 'A God's voice, and not a man's.' Instantly, the angel of Jehovah struck him, because he did not give the glory to God, and he was eaten up with worms and died.